first just want to say thank you to the crowd, obviously, to have a 4 sellout in a row. And I knew it was going to be a little bit late arrival, a little chilly, 11 o'clock game. So, but I looked up in the middle of that first quarter and saw an atmosphere that our guys are getting used to playing in front of. And I think our guys really took that to heart this week. I challenged them about, let's do what we got to do to have a home field advantage, and thought they really did a good job of prepping. Offense, defense, special teams. This team presented some unique challenges in what they do. Greg and his crew, from a special team standpoint, bring a lot of different issues and problems, and I thought our guys answered the challenge special teams wise, even down to that last punt that we obviously executed. And then I think offensively, Barry and his crew to let Luke have those moments, right? And I think 4 different guys caught touchdown passes today, which shows the depth and the ability of that group. Hudson Clement is a guy. I know Thursday we were sitting in a staff meeting and Steph made reference that he thought he might have had his best week of practice, and I think that showed up out there today. I grabbed him and Ashton Hollins before the game today and said, hey, I'd really enjoyed watching practice this week, and it kind of played out. And defensively, I give a lot of credit to Aaron and our defensive staff and our players, right, to answer the bell. This was the Big Ten's leading passer, right? So obviously there were some good things that they have done prior to, but I thought our guys were very aggressive all day. Put them in a couple 4th downs. I know they converted to 1 early, but even just I thought it was fitting to come down there at the end to have that defensive play to walk off the field was an awesome feeling. So super excited for our program. Obviously a bye week coming at a good time. We can just take this week, take a deep breath, kind of get some of our guys healthy, and then we'll get ready for a 3-game stretch with Maryland here at home. That will be a fun way for us to kind of kick off after the bye week. Hopefully change the results from bye week 1 to bye week 2 in that regards, but we'll take some time here to do what we got to do and get on track.
Brett,
so with that, open up for questions.
You said after your game on radio, we brought the aggression to them on defense. As you diagnosed everything in the days leading up to this game, why did you feel more pressure?
Well, 2 things. I think we played some man, showed some 2, came out of it. They're very diligent in what they do. I thought their offensive coaches, have been successful in kind of converting some of those 3rd and mediums, 3rd and longs, and putting themselves in a good position. But I thought Aaron and our crew, we played a little bit of 3 down early, which I think kept them off rhythm, and then we got them in 4th down. I know they converted that 1 4th and 3 early, but for the most part, we got off the field on 3rd down, which was a good part of the game.
9 pass breakups in the back end.
Yeah.
What'd you see from the coverage?
Yeah, I kind of I give a lot of credit to Corey and Aaron. Like we talked about contesting the ball, we knew where routes were. Well, you think you know where routes are going to be, and I just thought overall those guys played a little bit more aggression. When I was saying aggressive, I wasn't necessarily talking about the play call, just the way we played, right? On Friday nights, I kind of usually have a plan during the course of the week. Like I'll show them games that are similar. So they played at Purdue, they played at Minnesota, right? They played at Washington. So some teams we had played, and I kind of show them leading up. And usually on Friday nights, I show them a game that's very similar to ours that was last played. But I showed them the USC game, right? And I showed them because I know that USC is a good football team. I don't even know, aren't they playing Michigan today, tonight? So, I just think USC is a pretty good ball club, and I looked at the way we played that game. I know it was a walk-off field goal, but we left 2 touchdowns on the field on the 2-yard line, 3-yard line, and I showed them 6 plays in that game. I showed them the very first play of special teams. I showed them the last play of special teams, first 2 plays of offense, first 2 plays of defense, and just the way our guys were flying to the football and playing with some attitude and playing with some energy, getting our crowd involved, and I wanted them to go to bed Friday night with the ability to know that they are a good football team that played against good teams and have won, and I think that materialized. Obviously, Rutgers, give them a lot of credit, but I wanted our guys this game today to be about Illinois, and I thought they did that.
Maybe beyond those 2 plays you mentioned against USC, what's made this offense effective in the red zone? 4 for 4.
Our offense? Yeah, I think, 2 things, right? Like Luke, I don't know if he scored running today, but he was very effective with his feet, right? And when you have a quarterback that does that, it limits some of the things you can do defensively, right? And I think that plays into it. And then bottom line, when you protect the passer and throw the ball accurately, I thought there was a good play design. Hank out in the flat on that one. Obviously, the very first touchdown pass, Barry, that was 100% Barry. Barry knew right to go to that call immediately. When Barry speaks and speaks with that volume and that intensity, we usually have really good results. So when I hear that on the headset, it makes me smile because I know good things are coming.
But you talked about building this thing consistently. Back-to-back bowl games here for the first time in more than a decade. What does that mean? And now you're.
I honestly, I promise you, I knew this was going to be win number 6, but I hadn't thought of it in that context. I just wanted to win because I thought a 6-3 team, going into where we're at down the stretch and where everything is. And I saw Duke beat Clemson today, right? So you start thinking about all the things that can happen with rankings. Obviously, I know we're a 6-3 team, but I'd put us as good as any 6-3 team out there. Doesn't do us a lot of good, but I'm just telling you, like, I like this football team. Have one of the hardest rated schedules we played to this point, and obviously can't change the math, right? But we're a 6-3 team that I think got better today, and that's all I cared about, right? Like, I know a lot of people get worried about where things are at or what they're doing. I knew going into postseason 2 years in a row would be a really big deal, so now we can kind of plan that way. But listen, I want to take advantage of this bye week. My coaches will be in the whole week, so I'll be out on the road recruiting. We only have a couple number of days we can go out, but I'm very specific where I'm going and what we're doing in recruiting. My staff will stay here, do some self-scout on ourselves Monday, Tuesday. We'll get a little bit of a jump on Maryland, obviously, but we also want to start looking at those other two opponents during this bye week. So I just can't be, I couldn't be more excited about where we're at, what we're doing. I promise you, to see that crowd out there today, the game kind of laid on and where we're on a little bit, so the crowd wasn't quite there at the end, but I really want to do something at the end. So hopefully next week or the next home game against Maryland, we can do something to thank them.
Barry got set on Monday. He wanted to get Luke involved in the run game, coming out of Washington and having success doing that. You said what happens to the defense when he gets involved in the run game, but for him, for Luke specifically, do you feel like it gets him in the run
Yeah,
game?
Luke's got good juice, man. I met with, we meet, like, you guys talk about Wednesday and Friday, and I just could hear it in his voice on Friday about what he thought we could do. Looked at our game a year ago, and I'm telling you, Luke Altmaier's made a lot of good plays in his career here. If you go to the last touchdown against Pat Bryant last year in that game, what he did throwing off kilter in the face of a rusher, Paul Burmeister and Jason Garrett called the game, so Paul and I are college roommates, right? Been a buddy of mine for a long time, but Jason and I worked together at New York, and I sat down to visit with those guys last night, and one of the things Jason said to me, he's like, Bret, he goes, your quarterback, right, is incredibly, and here's a guy that coached in the league for a long time, played in the league. I told the OC from Rutgers, I think our two quarterbacks are two of the most underrated guys in our conference. I thought both of them kind of do a lot of really good things for the team. Both are 3-year starters, but Luke, when he's playing at a high level and we can do things that are in rhythm and on time, like we played all different kinds of paces today. We jumped into a pace there when things faltered after that interception, which kind of flipped the game in our favor. And then at the end of the half, like I wanted to score twice, right? Like I wanted to, when we won the toss, well, I knew we got a chance for a double dip, so that was a really, really big deal for us. So, yeah, when our team plays with the demeanor and the attitude that they're capable of playing with, we're a really good football team.
Do you have an update on Dylan Rosiak, Leon Lowry?
Yeah, Dylan, I think we'll see. Obviously, got a little bit of time to recover. We knew he wasn't going to play this week, but we do think if he's got a good week this week, good week next week, and then he probably will be able to play in that 3-game stretch. And then Leon Lowry was right on the cusp being able to play, but obviously didn't get out there. So Leon, I do think will be back with us, and he'll probably even practice next week. Luke Ford had a little soft tissue injury. He played in the first half, but then it got tight on him at halftime, so we had to pull him out. But I think that's really about it.
How, if at all, defensively did you involve yourself this week, and was it different than anything you've done?
No, I kind of, depending on the opponent, depending on what I see, I know everybody wants to write about it, but no, I do think I empowered and told those guys that I believed in them, right? And said it in the media to you guys, right? Like, I think a lot of people, listen, when things aren't going right, it's really easy to have a lot of blame and have everybody kind of have their own opinions, right? I think that's when you truly want to empower people. You guys have heard me talk about it. I think the greatest thing you can do to a player is when you empower them, right? To know that you believe in them. Well, I think coaches need that same thing too, right? And I know we got really good defensive coaches. I think they needed to feel what they were doing wasn't good, but on the same side, all they got to do is flip the script, and they did that today.
What'd you see from your
One more
DBs?
episode.
You said they contested routes better. What'd you see from
I think prepared-wise, right? Like, we're 8 games into this, my friend. So now we're 9 games behind us. The more you are aware before the snap, the faster you can play after the snap. And I thought our guys, I made a very big point to our guys about it's not what you know before, right, on Thursday and Friday and how you can answer a test. It's what you do on game day. We can't stop the play and say, hey, it's a 3rd and 6, we're going to stick route. We're going to have a 3rd and 11, we expect them to have a deep in-breaking route, right? Like, you have to have those things in mind, in place, on the field without a coach in your ear. And I thought our guys, it looked like they were playing with much better awareness. And then we got our hands on some balls at the line of scrimmage too. I think there was 2 tip balls. And obviously those things happen by getting your hands up. You have to have awareness that ball's coming out.
the Illinois offense, it's been
Last one.
really successful with some of those creative plays in the red zone, like against USC, Ohio State, and then the play with Luke. Just how has kind of Barry Lunny or the team grown with those creative plays in the red zone?
Yeah, Barry, just, again, he's a former quarterback. I think he's got a creative mindset. I think the staff in general, I thought we really did a good job today on some quattros where we knew on second down that he had 3 downs there, which allowed you to play a certain way. And then down in the red zone, I think there was 2 times down there in the red zone where we had first downs inside the 10-yard line. And I told Barry, hey, you got 4 downs here, so they're not playing 3 downs to kick a field goal. They knew they're playing with a 4-down deck, which I think also helps, how you play or how you attack. But again, just a good group of guys that are working together well. It's a really fun group to be around, and excited to get in this bye week. Sometimes during the bye week, when you can take a breath, you actually get better by just kind of learning a little bit more about yourself. Like we'll want to learn a lot about Maryland and obviously Wisconsin and Northwestern down the stretch, but it's more important that we know ourselves better than anybody else.